Hi, everyone, and welcome once again to Appropriate Productions, the high-resolution, lowbrow, apolitically correct freedom of speech art company. In this episode, we check out and review a story called I Killed Giants, a graphic novel that was turned into a Netflix movie. It was kind of a funny story. I picked it up at a rare time over Christmas where I happened to have an extra chunk of change and went into the store and asked for a recommendation. I had some money to throw around. And the guy suggested I Killed Giants, and I picked it up, got home, opened it up, and the style's very good, but it didn't get me. I was kind of disappointed, to be honest, when I first picked it up. I wasn't sure what to make of it. And by halfway through, I was gripped by the story. I had come to see that the art was almost certainly chosen by the writer to line up perfectly with the story. It's got a kind of a childish look to it, but there's kind of a weird haunting feeling behind the storybook, sort of fairy tale art style of the story. And man, I finished the whole thing in one sitting. I was moved by the end of it. It's one of the rare stories that I've read where I was genuinely moved. And that's why we've decided to share this story with you. We hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching. And this is, again, our review of I Killed Giants. And here is the book, I Killed Giants, by Joe Kelly and Ken Niimura. Niimura? I'm not sure how to pronounce the two I's together. It's a wicked book. Let's get into it. I had not read this in a while, so it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be like reading it again for the first time. That is a very true statement. I've found in my own life that I get stronger in relation to the kind of giants I'm having to face up against life. If I never had any giants, I'd probably be pretty weak. But it's never fun to face giants. It was a time of darkness. The cities of the damned were stacked high with the bones of fallen heroes. The currency of the day was hopelessness, and monstrosities roamed the earth unbound by borders and unmatched in their cruelty. Until dawn rose upon the back of a lone rider who seemed to have galloped from the yellowed pages of some forgotten tale into the world. A knight, stalwart, lion-hearted. And when she raised her weapon in righteous anger, woe to he who... Ow! Damn it. She plucks herself on purpose and streaks it. Thurisas, the thorn, the hammer. Take the force of my enemy and send it back to him 1,000,000 times. Please. No one thinks about milk. You open the carton, pour it on your crunchy sugar bomb cereal or whatever. And you know where it comes from? Where? Hello, cows, right? But who gets the milk out of the cow? I do. I'm what we call in the trade, a paraprofessional sanitation engineer. Garb and man or woman ain't politically correct. No respect to it. How bad would your house stink if it didn't come around and haul your taxes? Taxes build hospitals, roads. Your own Birch Elementary wouldn't be here without taxes, and yet people hate the IRS. People hate me. I don't steal the money from mommy and daddy, but the way they look at me, so cold. So cold. So let's heat up career day, huh? Get the blood flowing. I don't want to just tell you about what I do. I'm going to show you. I'm going to rock you. That's what I do. I make boring into soaring, lame into flame. So who wants to experience some motivational speaking? Starts off at looks like a high school classroom, bring your parent to school day and embarrass everybody. And here in the back is this girl. She's not paying any attention. It's got these funky rabbit ears. Motivational speaker's got it, though. He's going to take care of business. He heads over to her. She's not interested. Thanks, buddy, but today's about your future career, not mine. I already have a career, thank you. Well, color me impressed. We've got a 5th grade entrepreneur in our midst. My voice could use a break. Why don't you tell us the thrilling details of your career? She kills giants. Look at that. You can't do it justice. Pretty cool. So you'll forgive me if motivating a room full of losers with no self-esteem of their hard-earned money doesn't hold much interest. This was sort of what got me at first. The style, it's great style for the story, but having just started into it, it didn't get me. I'm used to something more heroic looking, more action, something that looks more like Conan or Wolverine. And I started reading this and I sort of thought, oh, it's a cute story. I was really wrong. I was really, it's not a cute story at all. And I think the style matches perfectly because it's about a kid, She's got some stuff that she's facing that's way beyond her ability to understand or make sense of or even cope with, really. But by the end of it, she finds a way. And the style sort of lends itself to, it sort of helps me put myself into the headspace of a kid a little bit, I think. It was easier for me to understand where she was coming from. I think if it was a really sophisticated, if it was like, if everything looks super realistic, I think I'd be reading it more from the perspective of myself instead of the kid style sort of made me read it through the eyes of myself as an 8-year-old, I came to really respect it by the end of it. I had a hard time at first, but I think it's perfect. So anyway, I'm going to quit rambling here on. We have Principal... It's too close there. Principal Marks is what I'm getting at. Principal Marks. Can't get rid of him. And she is in trouble for talking smack to this silly motivational speaker. She's not having it. She's all attitude. We're never going to move forward in our relationship if we only meet at your place. Neither one of us wants to be here doing this, Barbara. I have a school to run. You have lessons to learn. So can you tell me why in 20 words you're rude in class? And she says, I wasn't. I was reading quietly until Miss Dean asked me a question and then I answered it politely. 19. 19 what? 19 words. Following directly is the key to success. Fine, I tried to be nice. You need to fly right, Barbara. Stop talking back to your teachers. Enough with the giant killing nonsense, or we start calling home. Nonsense. With respect, Principal Marks. Until you've actually fought a giant, until you've looked into its eyes and seen the horrors that crawl behind them, until you've plunged your broadsword into the arteries and felt the hot, wet spray of victory wash over you, intoxicated by the steaming perfume of spilled entrails, you really have no right to judge me. That's the appropriate response made there, I think. She gets attention for a week. She shakes, always a pleasure doing business with you, sir, and takes off. He's not having a good day. And here she is trying to read her book about dungeon killing, Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeon Master Guidebook. She's having to put up with all these silly girls talking about ponies and belly shirts and hairstyles and carb-free ice cream, and she's trying to study to kill giants, Here she is. She gets home and she's looking, hello, anybody home? I've got every book in the library here. Hello? Hello? Am I alone? Dum dum. This is spooky. Look at the twisted hallway out with just a little beam of light coming through. That's a really good composition. And then somebody comes in screaming for her. Trips. I told you about that frickin' book bag. I think it's her sister. Here they are hanging out, playing D&D. The older sister's trying to keep them together. Keep them, keep kids from being the destructive kind of kids. Even when you're playing D&D, you can make a real mess. Not that I have personal experience with that or anything. They're starting to get that. Here's that messy stuff I was talking about. Gets the dice in the dip. And they get kicked out because they're making too much of a scene. And she's just sort of, Here she is sitting outside by herself. Her sister comes out and asks her if she wants to talk. Whatever, it's a school night. Bed in 15. It isn't that she doesn't try. She just sucks at it. Cooking, talking, big sistering. It's because she's got no worldview. She has no perspective. And here she is throwing these little things out into the forest, and little tiny fairy things are catching them. These balls. Life's happening all around this dump, but she's always talking about work, work, work. She doesn't know what work is. Try foraging for food. If you fail, you starve. You fail, someone you love dies. And let's face it, killing giants? That's stress. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't want to say it. She's family, so poop for brains, like it or not, so I shouldn't speak ill of them. But between you and me, they're all crazy. And here this poor girl is, I've thought the whole world is crazy before myself, and I, of course, was right at the time when I said it. I wasn't daydreaming being surrounded by all these mystical creatures and pixies and gnomes and fairies and such. It looks like our main character might be in a spot of trouble. Thump, thump, thump. And that is going to cut a short review of part 1 of I Killed Giants, because it is late at night. I got to work early in the morning, and I've used my entire day working on a comic book. So tonight is going to be a short video of part 1 of I Killed Giants. Thanks for watching, everybody. Stay apolitically correct.